Hey folks, all this stuff cost me $16 and I've got it laid out here. I had a conversation with a friend of mine and they're really into those MREs, the meals ready to eat, and I just couldn't justify it. I just couldn't justify spending $25 for mac and cheese with some crackers and granolas and applesauce. So I decided to go to the store and grab a few items, and I'm trying to go for affordability, satiation, some protein, and a little snackage on the side. Something that would make a meal comparative to a $25 MRE, but a lot more affordable. And what I've got here is I've got some ready-to-eat rice. It starts with a jasmine rice. This is about one serving. It's pretty filling. You can put it with a can of beans or a can of soup or something, and it will fill you up. 150 grams. There's another rice here, and this one's 250 grams. This is actually two fairly good servings. A little bit of olive oil and some vegetables. This one's 150. There's another rice here, also 250 grams, and it's about two servings. Pretty filling if you split this with a can of beans or a can of meat or a can of Spam or whatever you want to put with it. You'll get two decent servings out of it, also $1.50. And then we've got this slightly fancier pasta, 250 grams. It'll split into two servings, no problem. And that one's the pricier, $175. So $175, $150, $150, $1. And I've got some stuff that I usually take camping. I usually go for the sardines, the tomato sauce. I usually go for some smoked mussels, which I like to put on crackers or on the rice itself. And then you usually have these packages of chickpeas, these masala chickpeas, and 285 grams. This is probably the most expensive thing here. This is $2.75, but it will split and top two of these portions of rice fairly well, and you get a nice meal for about $4. And if you really want the snacking, you can get some fruit cups. These are 3 for $1.50, and you can get these crackers. I believe these are $1.75. It comes with about 10 little mini packages of a few crackers. So less than 25 cents per package. And I figure for about $4 or $5, I can make a fairly decent MRE for lunch or supper. Clearly, no eggs here, no breakfasty items, but if you're out camping and you're doing just basic survival, really some rice and tuna or rice and sardines, rice and mussels or the chickpeas, that'll do you fairly well and a lot more affordable. I reckon these could make about 6 servings for well under the price of one MRE. Later on, we'll get these set out in a bowl and we'll see what we create. I did forget to add these in there. This is also included in that $16 bill. It's these 2 canned coffees. These are pretty delicious. Nice way to wake up or pep yourself up at lunchtime. They're $1 a piece. They're approximately 240 mLs, and they're very smooth. They're very tasty. For my first meal, I'll keep it fairly simple. I'll mix the jasmine rice with the sardines. I did do a double check on the crackers. There's actually 17 packages in here. I think they've downsized the crackers. There might be about 3 or so thins in each one. So it's actually a very good deal to get that many. I'll have a fruit cup for dessert. And I did buy this previously. It's a dollar store branded habanero sauce. It's actually fairly good. I believe it's $1.25 when you usually go to checkout, sometimes they'll actually give it to you for $1 still. It used to be $1. So I'm wondering if they ever did update their inventory. But you can have the rice in the package. It's got an easy tear. It's pre-cooked. I guess if you really wanted to warm it up, you could go get some hot paws for $1 and slap it on there and get a nice warm meal. But I'll get this transferred to this bowl here so you can see what we're looking at for volume. Okay, we've got our rice in the bowl and we've got our can of sardines on top and a little splash of hot sauce on top to bring it all together. Some folks are going to be totally disgusted by this. There's folks who completely hate sardines. I grew up on an island. I love them. It's always been my childhood snack. Sardines, mackerel, tuna. If you're not into fish and you're not into oily fish, and I do get it. It does have a pretty pungent smell to it. Go ahead and get yourself some canned Spam or canned chicken or turkey, flake chicken, any of that sort of stuff will go on here pretty well. Decent sized fillets, decent amount of sauce. At the end of a long hike, this is going to get you through fairly well. Get a nice big spoon of that. I think it's pretty decent. That tomato sauce does have a little kick to it. Probably didn't need the hot sauce. If I were camping, I would totally eat this at the end of the day. At the end of a long hiking day, probably 2 of these would really hit the spot. But for a quick meal or, sometimes you're so tired, this will probably fill you up pretty nicely. I just wanted to tear open some of those crackers and go through the nutritional value. This can of sardines is about 160 calories with 12 grams of protein. The rice is about 230 calories with about 4 grams of protein. As we get into the other stuff, sodium becomes a concern. And the nutritional information for the crackers says it's 60 calories with 1 gram of protein. So we're looking at, what is that here? 12, 4, and 1. So we're looking at about 17 grams of protein and about 500 calories. Not bad for a middle meal. I imagine the fruit cocktail would be a fair bit of sugar, a couple grams of protein as well. And we can take a look real quick at it. Yeah, about 70 calories and 1 gram of protein. So it brings it up to about 600 calories. Not bad for a lunchtime snack. You get 3 of those anyway. You hit your 15 to 1800 calorie daily intake. Obviously, if you're hiking, you'll probably want to throw a chocolate bar in there. And we do know that those affordable ones that we got from the dollar store are fairly good. Something like a Titan bar would be fairly delicious and filling, probably calorie dense with all those peanuts. These crackers are a vegetable cracker. Get a nice crunch to it. Little sweet, little savory. Probably add a couple more in there. We'll finish this off. We took care of our dinner, and now we've got our dessert. This fruit cocktail is peaches, pears, and cherries. As usual, you only usually get 2 little tiny pieces of cherries. We'll give this a taste test. My favorite's all this cherries. fairly tasty. It might even be a rebranded Del Monte, but it's good quality. It's in a light syrup, not that overly sugary syrup. If it were in fruit juice, it'd probably be better. But really, tonight's meal only costed us about $2.50. As we get to the finale, it'll probably be closer to $4 or $5, but not bad for a quick, ready-to-eat meal. You don't have to break the bank, folks. Okay, back for day 2, meal 1. I don't really do breakfast. I usually grab a protein bar or just some coffee. So what I'll start off with today will be this cafe latte. It's about 120 calories, 1 gram of protein, and a bit of sugar to give me some energy at the gym. I'll probably complement that with a couple vitamin pills and maybe like a pre-workout energy, like a Red Bull or something, if I do need that extra boost. But I just wanted to show you guys this. $240 ml is about, oh, it does have it on there, 8.11 fluid ounces. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Yep, 8.11 fluid ounces. So it's your standard small or extra small coffee. Looks a bit like diarrhea, but I assure you, tastes a lot better. We'll be back for splitting our lunch. I might take one of those rice and split it with the chickpea, and then I can have some lunch and dinner. Day 2, I think I'm going to split this up and make 2 meals out of it. I know there's 2 servings in the rice, and it's got it listed as 1 serving in the pouch, but this is going to be fairly over a pound of food. I don't think I could down that in one go comfortably. So what I'll do is I'll split it in 2, and then if need be, I can always top it off with a couple crackers. I still got my fruit cups. So let's get this bowled out and we'll see what it looks like. Got our rice. It's got a nice sheen on it from that olive oil. You can definitely smell the olive oil. Vegetables, a little sparse. It's got corn, peas, and carrots. And I'll pop this open and throw it on top. So 2 decent small meals. I went a little bit heavy with the chickpea on the left side. A little bit of hot sauce for good measure. Give that a taste. Nice amount of spice. Now with these packages, I haven't been microwaving or heating. I'm just eating them straight from the package. Just trying to prove that you can have this very conveniently at your fingertips. Rice, it's a little bit dry. I think a little bit of microwaving, a splash of water in there would have taken care of that, but not bad. Probably have some of this cracker, some of this vegetable. It looks like peas, corn, and potatoes. That's pretty nice. I think I'll probably have this right about now. It's just before lunchtime, so I'll have the one on the right side. And I could probably starve myself off until dinner, but splitting them, I think I'm probably gonna eat the second one just before dinner as a dinner snack, and then I might come back and grab this cheddar broccoli for dinner. Just eat that by itself, save the mussels for the pasta. Okay, that's the end of day 2 meals. All right, folks, day 3. I've got 2 more meals left. I'm just gonna start the day off with this coffee again. Meals from yesterday, definitely probably could have eaten 1.5 servings, but I try to stretch it through. Obviously, if I were on a work day or hiking, I'd probably want to increase the calorie intake, but I've still got my 2 fruit cups to accompany those. Lots of crackers still. So I think we'll make it through today. Okay, folks, day 3, lunch. I was contemplating whether or not to split this up. Obviously, when I went shopping, I didn't contemplate my carb to protein ratio. I'll actually save this for the end of day, but I'll go ahead and I'll do the double serving of this, and I'll supplement it with this fruit cup, and that'll take us right down to the end of the day. I probably don't need any more of those crackers. So we'll go out and we'll get this plated. So a fairly decent portion when it's combined, just the 2 servings in one bowl. I've added a little bit of our dollar store hot sauce and some of this sweet and hot mustard. This was purchased off on the side, I know, but if you're going camping, you're probably going to bring some condiments with you. When you're packing your MRE packs and you get the rice and whatever, you might want to throw like a protein bar in there. You get them at the grocery store fairly cheap for $1 or $2. And that'll make sure that you have enough protein. Obviously, if you're going on a full day hike, you're going to be consuming a lot more than this. Let's give this a little taste test. It's got the mustard, a little bit of hot sauce. Once again, straight out the package. Not bad. The flavor is a little bit reminiscent of that Kraft mac and cheese sort of cheesiness. Hot sauce and mustard goes pretty good. Once again, because this wasn't reheated, rice grains are a little bit hard, a little bit chewy. I imagine you put a splash of water in there, heat it up with a hot pot, or you know what, if you have access to a camping stove, heat it up on your camping stove, it'll be great. All right, I'll go finish this up and we'll come back for day 3 dinner and then some thoughts on this whole process. Day 3 dinner meal. I'm gonna go with the pasta, and I'll do the full 2 servings. This will be the last meal, and we've got the smoked mussels. That'll satisfy my protein requirement. And then I'll finish up the fruit salad. I don't think I'll have any crackers today, maybe snack on it later tonight. But this will be it. Let's get this out on a bowl. Nice amount of pesto, decent amount of small mussels in that package. Smokiness smells good. Give this a little taste test. Once again, I'm eating all of these straight from the package. It's cold, it's not heated. Same thing with the rice. The pasta is a little bit chewy. Pesto's got a nice flavor. Mussel's got a nice flavor. Once again, I am pretty open with eating canned fish and mussels and canned chicken. This will totally be a choice up to yours of what protein you want to add, or if you want to add something completely different or pre-prepare. a package of something else, your favorite protein. But this isn't too bad. So I'll go ahead and finish this up and come back and just give you my 2 cents on these affordable MREs, or if you want to have emergency food for when you're hiking or camping. But I'll go finish this up. All I've really got are these crackers. I'm pretty sure these will come in handy throughout the week. A couple notes. I bought all this stuff on Friday. I started with Friday dinner. I didn't really plan on eating it throughout the weekend, but it kind of just became an experiment, see if I could be filled and satiated just eating the stuff that I purchased. $16 total. Got 2 days and Friday dinner out of it. I was pretty satisfied with it. Obviously on the Saturday where I tried to split those meals, maybe a little bit hungrier, but definitely today having the 2 double portions, definitely a lot more full. I set out to see if it is possible to create a very affordable MRE, and in my mind, something that you can eat straight out of the package. I think grabbing, say, the pasta and the canned sardines, it's easy to crack open. You don't need any additional tools. It mixes right in the bag. You may have a different choice for what your main's going to be. You're going to probably have a different choice for what your protein's going to be. You're definitely going to have a different choice for what your snacks throughout the day is going to be. But it can be done, and it can be done very affordably. $16, 7 meals. I think that's a great success. Once again, leave me a note in the comments what your go-to might be or what you're currently paying for an MRE, and we'll see how that compares to what we did over this weekend's experiment. Okay, folks, until the next one.